Greetings, metalheads, and welcome to No Nonsense Metal Reviews. I'm George, and today I am back with what is essentially a very random collection update, showing off some of the recent finds and the recent additions to my collection. And I say it's a bit of a random bunch. It's a bit of a mixed bag here, to be honest. All good releases, all definitely worth checking out, definitely worth raving about. But they are the kind of the loose ends, little bits and pieces that I've picked up over the last couple of months or so, and I just haven't really gotten around to talking about them yet. Haven't got around to showing them off, but actually, they're all nice articles. And now that I've finally had a chance to delve into them and give them all equal opportunity and give them a chance, I've been pleasantly surprised by some of these articles, I must say. So first of all, I'm going to kick off with this little ditty. This is the debut album from US, I think California, Thrashers. This is Vio-Lence, a short-lived band by all accounts, but a band that is a very well-renowned band, held in very high regard by a lot of thrash metal fans, a lot of kind of crossover fans as well, but actually a band that, although I have known about, heard the name, really haven't delved into that much over the years. Happened to stumble upon this. This is actually a second-hand, pre-owned copy in a little record shop in Ipswich, here in the UK. And it was £4 or something, and I just thought, hey, you know what, I'll give that a chance, give it a spin, and for that kind of money, even if you don't like it, you're hardly out of pocket. But I must say, this is some solid thrash. It's actually really good. Pleasantly surprised. And this is a nice digipack reissue, as I just showed you there. A reissue from, is it 2022? I think that this particular package, though, has existed previously, which is highly sought after now. A 2-disc version, and it contains the second disc, which is live at Slim's, San Francisco, I assume, 12/14/2001. So you've got a live disc as well in there. Lots of great tracks on that. That's a really solid live recording. It doesn't have that raw, crap, primitive sounding bootleg, straight off the sound desk kind of quality. It's good quality. It's not proper pucker live album, polished, squeaky, clean quality. No, but it's a good live disc. But the main event is that album itself. Consists of 7 tracks, slightly longer tracks, about 35 minutes in total, I believe. Really solid album. It's got that classic early thrash kind of feel about it, but at the same time, it does feel like it's got that kind of hardcore angle to it. It reminds me of Anthrax a little bit at times. It reminds me a little bit of Overkill in places. It's got that kind of crossover mentality, if you like, but it is decently thrashing. Tons of killer riffs here. I'm just trying to find the lineup to this because I believe the lineup is pretty legendary. I know that you've got Phil Demel, or Demel, legendary guitarist who's just recently cropped up. Don't know if you can see that there. It's a little foreword from Phil. There's our lineup. But Phil, who's just recently cropped up alongside Kerry King in Kerry King's little band, his solo outing. Can't see the lineup here. Okay, so yeah, it's Sean Killian on vocals, Phil Demel on guitars, alongside none other than Rob Flynn on guitars as well, and Dean Del Bass, on bass rather, I should say, Perry Strickland on drums. So that's our lineup. You've got some good names there. You've got certainly some notable figures, Rob and Phil, going on to great success and fame with Machine Head, of course. But actually, it's a really solid thrashing album. Tracks I particularly enjoy: the opening title track, Eternal Nightmare. In case I forgot to actually mention, it is called Eternal Nightmare, the debut. Weird as hell, unsettling cover, though. I would definitely say that. Solid way to kick off an album. Also particularly enjoy the very Anthrax, certainly in the sort of shouting hardcore style, or crossover style chorus, calling in the coroner, and Bodies on Bodies, and Kill on Command, particular highlights for me. But listen to this one quite a bit actually, and it's really solid. Definitely essential listening for fans of bands like Forbidden or Death Angel, Anthrax, bands like that. Definitely going to dig that. So that's Vio-Lence from the US, from California, I believe, with Eternal Nightmare. Up next, keeping it thrash, but a little bit heavier. This is death thrash stuff, more like. This is Legion of the Damned. Excellent, fantastic band. I believe they're Dutch, and I've been talking about them a lot lately. Really, really big into this band, actually. I've now got all of the albums. We recently had the amazing 2023 release, The Poison Chalice. And of course, I've recently done a Bands You Need to Hear recommendation, so you can go and check that out. And I talk about all of these albums, this one included, in a little bit more detail. But this was a glaring omission from my collection, actually, for a long time. I believe Nope, I'm thinking of the Malevolent Rapture and Sons of the Jackal. I know that you can get Feel the Blade and Cult of the Dead in like a budget sort of double album package, just like this one here. So you can get these sorts of releases, but with Cult of the Dead and Feel the Blade. But I kind of wanted to have this one, this individual package. This is a really nice double disc. It's got a DVD there and some bonus tracks. This was pre-owned, very good condition, from a German import company. Can't remember the name of it now off the top of my head, but it was about £4. Bit of a theme here. But this is a fantastic album. This is an absolutely fantastic album. This is very heavy, very thrashing. If it's thrash you're looking for in the strain of, in the vein, I should say, of bands like Slayer, Creator, Sepultura, early Sepultura, then definitely Legion of the Damned is a band that you need to check out. And also Feel the Blade is an album you need to acquaint yourself with. But also, if you like your old school death metal, if you like bands like Death or Morgoth or Jungle Rot, Obituary, bands that have that kind of thrashier riffing style, like Vader, for example, then you are definitely going to dig Legion of the Damned and definitely Feel the Blade. This album packs some absolutely disgustingly heavy punches. Second track, Nocturnal Predator, is massive. We've got Slaughtering the Pigs. The title track, Feel the Blade, is fantastic. Expire is just a weird, kind of creepy death rattle interlude. A little bit kind of unnerving, to be honest. War Beast is killer. Disturbing the Dead. Reaper's cool. Yeah, and then we've got some bonus tracks as well. But this is a really nice package. And for like £4, you think, even if you didn't love the album, it's worth taking a chance on it for that kind of money. And it is in very good condition. Don't know if you can appreciate that, but solid album. As I say, any fans of Slayer, Creator, Death, Morgoth, Vader, whatever, definitely check this out. This is solid stuff. If you like the Troops of Doom, if you like your heavy end of the thrash spectrum, definitely going to appreciate this one. So that's another little addition, recent addition, but one that I do particularly enjoy. Certainly gets the old head banging. Talking about head banging, Chrysix. So this was another gap in my collection. Big fan of this band, this Spanish thrash metal outfit. They are a brilliant band. They've got a number of albums in their catalogue. Obviously, this one was a bit of a gap that I'd been looking to fill for a while. This is entitled From Blue to Black. I can't quite recall the year of release on this one. 2016. So it's a few years old now, but we have had some fantastic albums from Chrysix in recent times. We had the hilarious and excellent Pizza EP. We had the last full-length album, Full HD, and the album before that, I can't quite recall, but it was a solid effort. Chrysix are a thrashing band, but they are definitely on the heavier end of the thrash spectrum. There's some killer crushing breakdowns in there, some really groovy stomping riffs, but it's also, it keeps the fun. It maintains the fun and light-hearted elements of thrash, just like we get with bands like Municipal Waste, for example, where your thrashers aren't taking themselves overly seriously, but at the same time, the music does the talking. It delivers the serious business. And there are some punchy tracks here. The opening track, Conspiranoia, is fantastic. We've got Journey Through the Fire with some excellent riffs. One of the album highlights for me is the third track, GMM, or The Great Metal Motherfucker, which is poetic, absolutely. Probably can't see the track list on there because it's very dark blue, but T-Terra Era, a tribute to the Terminator and that franchise. The title track, From Blue to Black. Start to finish, this is a riff-a-thon, I should say. Killer tracks, riffing, heavy, guaranteed to get you headbanging, but it's those kind of thrashy breakdown riffs that really catch you. It's almost like hardcore at times, but, so I guess it's like a crossover thrash, but it packs a seriously weighty punch. And Crysis, interestingly enough, or Crisis, not quite sure if there's a correct way to pronounce it or not, but this fine Spanish thrash outfit were one of the first bands from the Bands You Need to Hear series that I have ever done. So I'll put that video at the end of the video so you can check that out if you want. It's probably going to be quite cringy for me to look over, but you might find it enjoyable anyway. So Crysis, From Blue to Black, really enjoyable thrash there. Then we've got some slightly heavier thrash. Now we've got some slightly more, I guess, black thrash. It's definitely at times leaning heavier towards the black metal sound than the thrash sound, but I think blackened thrash is the most fitting description for the mighty German heavyweights, Disaster. Now, I've been talking about Disaster quite frequently on the channel recently, and that is because I recently placed an order for quite a lot of their vinyls from the early years from Vicious Witch Records here in the UK. I've also had a few of their CDs in my collection for a long time, but there's been a few gaps that I've been filling in as well. So this particular one is The Arts of Destruction. Remind myself of the year of release. Doesn't say on the back of this case, annoyingly, but this one has been out for a few years now. It's a very good album though. I have been absolutely loving this one recently. This is solid. And this is what I mean when you take a track like The Art of Destruction, the title track, that is very heavily thrashing. That has got some excellent thrashing riffs, but it is also very black. It's a very black metal song. It's that kind of perfect combination of black and thrash, but it's a stunning black metal masterpiece, start to finish. It's got atmosphere. 2012, I think this might be 2012, I've just seen on the back of the booklet there. There's a cool lineup shot as well to show that off. So Disaster, guaranteed to appease fans of The Great Destroyer 666, just as if you're a fan of Immortal, just as if you are a fan of, I don't know, Legion of the Damned, if you like your nice thrashing riffs. We've got plenty of that in there as well. But definitely some stunning black metal guitar work. Definitely on a track like The Art of Destruction. The Splendor of the Idols is a brilliant, punchy track. Phantom Funeral, Queens of Sodomy, The Hell's Horizons, just right the way through, to be honest. It's a stunning album, a really hard-hitting album. And what's really cool is this disc. It's like a mini sort of replica vinyl. So it's a black disc, as you can see. Very cool indeed. Very cool little disc. So yeah, really, really loving that particular album. Really loving this particular band at the minute. It's just some of the best black and thrash around for sure. And sticking with Destruction, I've got another album, which was another glaring omission. So both of these discs, these actually came from, I've forgotten the name of it now. There's a German distro site. I think it's like Supreme Chaos or something along those lines. But I wanted to track down these two because there were gaps in the collection. One of the only places that I could see them was on like Supreme Chaos, I think it is. And this is the Oath of an Iron Ritual. And this is actually quite hard to get hold of here in the UK, I must say. This was released in 2016, so it's a few years old now, but it's got a great album cover. Absolutely love that. I was surprised because that it was so difficult to get hold of. I mean, because I thought, it's quite a big label, big bands. It's out on Metal Blade Records. What's the deal? So, but hey, managed to track it down for about €7.99. Very pleased with that. Some cracking tracks here. Again, very black and thrash. I feel that it's leaning a little bit more to the thrash than the black, but it's still black and thrash. It's guaranteed to satisfy tastes of any self-respecting black metal fan. Proclamation in Shadows is stunning. End of Tyranny, the absolutely brilliant The Cleric's Arcanum. We've got Haunting Siren, fantastic. Conquer and Contaminate, The Denial. It's just excellent, start to finish. Fantastic black and thrash, and I really would strongly recommend checking out Disaster and check out the unboxing review I did of Vicious Witch, where I'm talking about the earlier albums as well, the albums pre Angel Whore, the pre sort of Metal Blade albums. Absolutely stunning stuff, fantastic albums, an excellent German band that they are. So two brilliant albums from those legends. And then last but not least, we have one album, two different incarnations from Scottish blackened thrash, blackened speed metal band, whatever you want to term it, just outright freaking great metal in the vein of Venom, Motorhead, early Metallica, with some Destroyer 666 thrown in there, with some added sort of speed metal energy in there, and no shortage of mysticism and magic and all kinds of dark art references there. But we are talking about one-man band, one-man project from multi-instrumentalist James McBain. This is Hellripper with Warlocks Grim and Withered Hags. This is album number 3. Been waiting to get a copy of this, or 2 copies in fact, of this album for a little while, because I think I was putting it off, waiting for it to go down in price on Amazon, to be honest, because it was something like £15 for a CD, but I was waiting for it to just dip down a bit, and then it seemed to become widely unavailable, which is very unhelpful. So finally found Hellripper's Bandcamp page and snagged up a copy on CD. There's James, the mastermind, multi-instrumentalist there, and all-round black and speed metal talent. Picked that up, the audio CD, alongside a good old-fashioned tape. Good old analog, and it's a very nice sounding tape indeed. So this album came out last year. This was, I believe this was 2023, or it might have actually been 2022. I think it was 2023, but don't hold me to it. But this is a fantastic album that shows a great progression for Hellripper in terms of sophistication of the music, complexity. It's getting a little bit more involved, a little bit deeper maybe, whereas the first 2 albums were a lot more thrash in nature, or certainly a lot faster in nature, at times reminding me very much of early Metallica, very much reminding me of Motorhead. I mean, throughout Hellripper's sound, there's a huge nod and ode to the mighty Venom as well. There's little flourishes here and there, and I don't think that James is claiming to be, reinventing the wheel here, but I think what he is doing is breathing some magical blackened fresh breath into what is essentially a well-established and maybe a little bit bloated at times style of music. We've already had Motorhead and Venom and Raven. We've had these big speed metal bands that have incorporated different elements into the speed metal spine. That said, Hellripper, I think they do stand out. There's a lot of bands doing this sort of black and thrash, black and heavy metal, black and speed metal, in fact. But I do honestly believe that, certainly with this album, Warlock's Grim and Withered Hags, album number 3, Hellripper are standing out above the rest. They are standing out in the crowd. Certainly with very sophisticated tracks like the Nucleave, not quite sure. Track number 1, the album intro track. Strong, heavy metal, blackened and brilliant. Then we've got I the Deceiver, very speedy, very blackened. The rather epic Warlock's Grim and Withered Hags title track is an absolute stunner as well, of course. Then we've got the Cursed Carrion Crown, the Hissing Marches, Poison Womb, Mester Storeworm, or Mester Storeworm. Brilliant stuff. Start to finish, really solid album. I think that any fan of Motorhead, Venom, as I say, all those sorts of bands, or if you're a fan of bands like Midnight, for example, more modern black and heavy metal, black and speed metal bands, then you're definitely going to dig Hellripper if you're not already a fan of them. This is I think it's rapidly becoming my personal favourite out of the 3 albums, although I would say that the Affair of the Poisons, the last album, second album, and even Coagulating Darkness, that first album, is a masterpiece, definitely worth checking out. So I am going to be, hint hint, I am going to be talking more about Hellripper on the channel in the very near future, but for now, get your ears subjected to some nice, fast and furious Hellripper, nice and loud Warlock's Grim and Withered Hags. So there we have it, a very brief little collection update of some loose ends that have been kicking around for a while. Just to recap, we had Vio-Lence with Eternal Nightmare, this nice double disc version, a nice double disc version of Legion of the Damned, Feel the Blade. I think that's the 3rd album from the band, in fact. Then we've got Chrysex with From Blue to Black, another solid speedy thrashing effort there. And how could I forget, 2 releases from the mighty Black and Thrashers Disaster with The Arts of Destruction and the tongue-twisting The Oath of an Iron Ritual. Absolutely delightful albums, so good. And finally, last but not least, the mighty Hellripper, full of energy, full of passion, full of magical, diabolical excellencies. Hellripper with Warlock's Grim and Withered Hags. So, my friends, what are your thoughts and opinions on these bands, on these albums, on these releases? Have you got these albums? Have you heard of these bands? If you've never heard of these releases or these bands, I definitely recommend that you check them out because they are all worthy and definitely worthwhile. Thank you very much for watching, my friends. Please do feel free to like, subscribe, comment, share, show your support. Really, really do appreciate it. Feel free to check out any of my other over 300 reviews here on the channel. I don't know how I've managed to accumulate that many, to be honest, but perseverance, I think. But thank you very much for your time, my friends. Do check back soon for more reviews and recommendations. Take care of yourselves, my friends, and until next time, stay heavy.